my god, jazz hands, hi!
So we're in a different place than we usually are to record Orgasm School because we have a very special guest.
Oh, Grace! Oh, please introduce a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I am Grace Hazel and I basically guide women to build loving relationships with their pussies.
I mean, what more could you want? So today we have got Grace in because we wanted to talk about not being able to orgasm. We get so many questions in from our viewers being like, what the fuck, I just can't ever orgasm. Like, no matter what I do, it's not happening for me. And Grace is a little bit of a specialist on this particular subject.
Yeah, thank goodness, because we've all been through that stage in our lives, and even when you think you're over that stage, it can come back, and you honestly rack your mind just thinking like, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? And you give yourself so much shit for it as well. So hopefully you can...
Which is the opposite of what you want to be
doing.
Exactly.
It's a horrible circle, vicious circle of non-coming, but hopefully we can
vicious
fix
cycle of not receiving an orgasm.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can sort all that out today, guys.
Yeah.
And help you out. So Grace, do you get a lot of women coming to you with this particular problem, not being able to orgasm?
Totally. And in lots of different ways I get women coming to me. Either they have never reached orgasm at all and actually don't know what an orgasm feels like or could be, or they've reached a stage in their life where perhaps with a lover they're not reaching orgasm. So there's lots of different types of this, but essentially yes, there's so many people who are experiencing lack of orgasm essentially.
Oh, the worst.
It's normal, yet it's annoying that it's normal.
Yeah, like it shouldn't have to be normal, but it happens all the time. Even if I feel super horny and I'm masturbating for maybe half an hour, sometimes my body's just like, no, not gonna happen tonight. I'm just like, why? I've done everything, I've given you everything.
For sure. And actually, like, that's cool. And I feel that, of course, every single woman is going to experience a time when it's just like, you know what, today's not the day I'm going to reach orgasm. However, I feel like the underlying stuff that I would really like to tune into is women who just aren't getting there at all. Like that's so, I feel the importance of that is like, right, okay, how can we unpack that and get you, if you are experiencing this thing, to reach orgasm?
Grace, how can we prepare our bodies to achieve an orgasm?
Okay, so achieving an orgasm is perhaps something like that word achieve. It's almost like when you go into the act of sex, self-pleasure, or with a lover, if you're out there to achieve an orgasm, it's like so goal-orientated that you actually forget the pleasure that's occurring before you orgasm. So take firstly the intention of why you're doing that as I need to reach orgasm away.
So true.
Like,
hardcore life lessons here. Yeah. You're putting it up on a pedestal. Like, for good sex, I have to have an orgasm. And it doesn't have to be like that at all.
You get all in your head, don't you? And then it just doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
And quite frankly, the best sex I have ever had, and this is like for real, has been when I haven't actually had an orgasm. And essentially, I've been able to just be going on for hours and hours and hours in like total pleasure, like heightened states of pleasure. Yet I haven't come, and I've walked out of those experiences just like full of like life and like sexual energy because I kind of retained it. So actually orgasms are great, but I would just say keeping that within your body is better.
So what is the most important thing that people need to do to achieve an orgasm?
So the most important thing would be to just let go, and it's like that achievement word. Let go of even trying to achieve anything and enjoy like the juiciness of just like the sexual connection that you're having with yourself or with a partner. And the more that you can let go, the more that you are expanding your body's potential to feel pleasure. So for instance, you may be currently experiencing like quick burst clitoral orgasms, like stimulating your clitoris and just going. However, if you can let go of I want to come via my clit and just allow your body to soften, and I'll go into tips on how to do that soon, you can start to like open your body's pleasure potential for deeper and bigger orgasms, maybe through your clitoris, maybe internal, or maybe like literally full body experiences. So the idea is the more that you can let go of the achieving of something, the more that you're kind of in the moment able to embrace the pleasure that you're in, and then like fucking magic things happen.
We like magic.
Yeah.
I mean, you say let go. How do you do that?
Right, so actual tools on letting go would be find your breath.
Like how? Can you show us?
Yeah.
Please, I want this. I want this.
Let's all try.
So literally, let's all just close our eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and send it down into the belly, so it's like expanding and big, and then open up the mouth and go. And just keep doing that. So deep breath in.
And verbalize it.
Yeah, you verbalize the ha. And that's actually like an important piece, that a lot of the time when we watch women in pleasure, there's a lot of noise coming out of them which can be, you know, kind of porny. However, if you get actually into like what your body is responding in the moment with, it can sound like more kind of primal and maybe animalistic.
You're like,
it's like, ah! And so if you start from the beginning of like being in self-pleasure or pleasure with another or multiple others, if you can find your breath from the beginning, like and then consistently be on your exhale, opening up your mouth and sounding something out, it can kind of feel a little bit like unnatural at the beginning, but once your body starts responding and your pleasure starts opening up, it becomes very natural that this kind of like sounding out comes through. And what you're doing with this breath is allowing like the energy which is sexual, which kind of like gets cultivated in our pussy, to expand and open up through our bodies. AKA orgasmic potential rockets higher.
Yeah. I want to try this out.
I kind of get that as well, because when I'm quite noisy in the bedroom, and I feel like when I like verbalize the pleasure, not verbalize, but like make moaning sounds, not exactly like porny ones, but making the sound, and it like connects more with your body, and then I feel like the pleasure potential is larger.
Definitely. I remember my friend at school told me, she was like, try yelling when you come.
Yes!
And I was like, what? It makes sense. Holding it in.
You're literally going,
so pleasurable.
imagine like, trying to come doing this. So this is one of my teachers. She shows the difference between like a real expansive and open orgasm in comparison to, imagine this. You know, like that orgasm. I'm sure if anyone's self-pleasured with and had an orgasm through their clit, this is that pleasure of being like, you know, that is so different to like,
that's so true.
You know, and just like opening your body up. Like there's like the burst, or it can be like, whoa, if I can like vocalize what's really going on and breathe into my body as that's happening. Like on actually a physical level, you're telling your body to let go by breathing. There's also other techniques you can use with breath. So for instance, like those big like expansive breaths are allowing your body to just soften into a space of, hey, it's time to just like get present and in the moment. However, if you want to kind of like get your sexual energy to rise up, you can start to almost activate your breath in a different way, which would look like, and I feel as I'm doing that, it's kind of like breathing into my stomach, breathing it up. So it's like a, and I can feel as I'm doing that, just sat here, I can feel this like tingle coming away from just here and rising up through my body. So if you want to start expanding like this orgasmic potential, use your breath. breath is like the most, and I would say like not just for orgasm, but for like the key root and foundation of sex and pleasure and like really getting into like that juiciness. Like always start with breath, always. So you might try that breath and be like, I don't feel anything. But if you imagine that you're like bringing up what you're feeling pleasure, like in the pleasure of your pussy, and you imagine it's coming up, it will start to rise up within you.
So sometimes it feels like there's just this barrier there when to cross and get that orgasm during sex, or even during your own masturbation. What do we do with that?
Yeah, there's like two aspects to that I want to tune into. So that may be this barrier, like normally you're able to have an orgasm during self-pleasure or with a partner. So there's that aspect, but then there's also an aspect with someone that perhaps is always finding that barrier and is never actually achieving. And again, I'm using the word achieve, I don't want to use the word achieve. Someone's not experiencing orgasm and they never have. So I'm going to go with that first to talk about it, because it's actually really important. And the women that I tend to work with are having this experience of, I don't know what it is to have an orgasm. Am I having an orgasm? What is it that's stopping me and causing this barrier? And generally, it's nothing that you're doing physically. Like you can read like so many tips online, or like, you know, you can get physical tips about like how from you guys. You can get those like amazing physical tips that are going to be amazing if you can like fully let go and release and relax into a state of pleasure. Yet there's like this element of subconscious belief systems, stress and stuff that's like held in the body that potentially could be stopping you from actually being allowed to, or letting yourself go. This can come from things like sexual trauma. So perhaps something's happened to you when you were young or last year or whatever that may be, and that can trigger kind of a block around being able to let go into orgasm and to fully enjoy sex. It could even be something as simple as when you were young, you were always told off when you were kind of like running around and playing and being free, and like there was a punishment for that. So there's like this subconscious patterning that comes into play, which is like, I get in trouble for letting go. So you can go like this and hold that in the body so that it will affect other aspects of your life, but truly it will affect you being able to let go through orgasm. So there's lots of different levels to it. So if you're not ever reaching orgasm, start to tune into what could have the teachings that you've received as a young adult, as a child. How could those teachings be affecting your life now, and how can you unravel them? If there's sexual trauma involved, like go and speak to someone, specifically a trauma therapist, and unpack all of the parts that are not allowing you to now, as like a grown woman and someone that's like moved on from that space, to enjoy sex. Like unpack all of that stuff.
It makes so much sense. And sexual trauma doesn't have to be something horrific. It can literally just be a bad negative experience from one person, right?
Yeah. It could even look like, oh, my boyfriend once cheated on me and lied about it, or someone gave me an STI. Like there's like so many different types of sexual trauma that don't necessarily have to be like something super big. There can be very like small things that happen that trigger something, and just clear it all so you can come from that really like clear, grounded foundation to build on top of that like amazing sexual experiences.
Yeah, because I feel like if you did get an STI from someone, that would kind of like, if you want to have another one night stand, you will be holding back. You'll be like a bit nervous that it's going to happen again. 100%. And if you're always thinking about that, then how are you going to experience the pleasure properly?
Well, you could have just had like someone said a bad comment about you, like in the bedroom or in an intimate space, and that can really fuck you up.
That's a really
and it stops the letting go, right? If you've got something like niggling on your mind in like the background, it stops the letting go and stops the orgasm.
I wanted to ask, you know, you were talking about breathing. Is there anything else we can do to help let go?
The tools that I usually give to clients are like, it's kind of just a step-by-step process. So the first thing would be get aware of your breath, like feel that you are present, and like watch if you're getting like those thoughts come into your head that distract you from being in the moment, and then just bring yourself back again to your breath. So like that's key foundation. If you're thinking about what you want to make for dinner later or something you've got to do, it's like so in the way of you being like just letting go and being
or even
in the
just
moment.
like I haven't come yet, I need to come.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's gonna think that he's shit in bed if I don't come.
And if you find your breath during that,
yeah.
so like when you're thinking,
Okay.
God, I can't come, being like, well, actually, can I find my breath right now? Can I just clear my mind of that and be in this experience as it is? Like, there is no need to be in your mind ever when you're having sex, I believe. If you can kind of come in from that like raw primal aspect, which really has nothing to do with like what your mind is telling you to do, you can be in your body and be embodied in the sexual experience.
That's a really good tip, because we all are so guilty of letting our mind wander. So as soon as that happens, find your breath, get into the breathing thing.
I love that so much.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I
going
would
to
definitely
change our lives.
try that out.
There's other things I want to add to this
Yes.
as well. So there's a lot of points where, especially with self-pleasure and also with sex with another person, where you're kind of like stuck and stagnant in a position. So again, if you're masturbating, normally I would say, if I like reflect on my self-pleasure experiences, especially when I was young, I'd be like, you know, in bed, lying down like this.
Yeah, literally. Or like stiff as a board.
Stiff as a board, yeah. So again, it comes like into that thing of like, how can I let go here? Sometimes what I do is actually stand up and move my body first. So as I'm breathing, I'll start to move my hips. So I'm starting to allow there to be like this encouragement of my body to release, to let go, rather than being like stiff. So it allows there to be, like we were talking about the breathing and the encouraging of like the sexual kind of experience and sensation to rise up within your body through breath. You can do that with movement too. So with self-pleasure, like experiment with moving, you know, like experiment with moving your hips, maybe getting up, exactly, rather than just like holding still.
Is this something that you can do solo or like with a partner? Like, how do you convince a partner to do something like that?
My feels are that if you're with a partner who's good enough for you to be with, that you're questioning of like, how can we make our sexual experience and like our connection bigger and better. If you have a partner that turns around and they're like, I don't think I want to do that. What?
Get out!
Yeah, like, get out of town. I feel like if you say, hey, I love sex with you, but like, can we make it better? Like, I love sex and it's like the best. But I feel like there are these tools that it's going to like allow us to have like bigger orgasms, bigger like longer sessions together. Of course, most partners aren't going to turn around and say, oh, sorry, I don't want that. You know? It's
I mean,
just...
who wouldn't want that, really?
And if they say that, then they must be afraid, or there's got to be something under, like, I don't want to do some breathing exercise while I have sex. I'm amazing at sex, clearly.
That's always an issue. If someone thinks that they're amazing at sex, they're normally not amazing at sex.
It's like, well, you know, talk to my vagina because I haven't come in 4 months.
It's amazing when you start to do, the partner work, but definitely like the foundation of all of this stuff, especially around orgasm, is like developing your own understanding of your body before you start moving that into expecting that your partner will get you into like A, an orgasm, or B, like more expansive orgasms. If you're not experiencing that yourself through self-pleasure, it's kind of difficult to then expect someone to get that for you. It's like, own your own pleasure, and then when you go into sex with another, then it will come much more naturally.
Yeah.
Would you like another tool?
We love,
Tell me.
we love another tool.
So experimenting with different kinds of touch. So again, this is stuff that I've learned from amazing teachers who are just like fully embodied in orgasms and sexuality. And there's types of touch. So for instance, experiment with your body. So when you're breathing and like you're sounding out and you're moving your body, you can start to like scratch yourself. So experimenting with things like There's like an air touch, which would be more like softly like touching and maybe stimulating your breasts and your nipples.
I like this already.
Yeah, like, so that's the scratching, but like soft touch, like air touch. There could be like a fiery touch, which sometimes can be like the scratch or like maybe a slap, you know? Like,
okay, so it can get quite hard.
Feeling into like what feels good in your body.
Just like rubbing my titties.
Yeah, literally, like, and actually that's a thank you, Reed. Get your tits involved. Your tits. Never say tits, do I? Get your tits involved with this. Breasts.
Breasts. The B word.
So with women especially, and actually just when you're coming into self-pleasure or sex with another person, stimulating your breasts and the rest of your body first before even going anywhere close to your pussy is so much of a must. Again, like, there's this active experience of like allowing your body to know that it can let go. So if you're coming into like self-pleasure and you just shove your hand down your pants or whatever, and you just you expect your pleasure or your orgasms just to switch on like that. Yes, it can happen. But if you're finding that barrier, then go right back. Like, imagine that you are having sex with yourself like you would want to have sex with a lover. So, you know, like being really teased, like tease yourself. Take time to just allow your body to just be like, I'm feeling good. Rather than like just expecting as soon as you put your hands there that you're gonna have an explosive orgasm. So touch yourself. Like, use coconut oil, massage your breasts, stimulate your nipples, like get your body like saying, I'm feeling it already. And it's almost like by the time you then touch your pussy or you touch your clitoris, she's already gonna be like ready.
Wanting it.
Yeah.
I'm already like, even just doing that, I mean, I always love like playing my own hands anyway. Like, I like that little like just touch and the comfort. So I think like I can really like feel how that would be really good.
I've gotten into bad habits with my orgasms. It's literally just like something that has to be done before I sleep if I want to sleep. So I just whack porn on, straight position, masturbate quietly next to my sleeping boyfriend, and that needs to change because I'm not enjoying my orgasm so much at the moment. 100%.
It's like rushed, right?
Yeah, just like quickly come so you can sleep and have to get up for work, which is it's not okay. That's not doing your body justice.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with just being like, I just want to come quickly. Like, there's a lot of like teachings out there that are like, never just do that. Like, if you're resorting to just like making yourself come to go to sleep, like stop doing that. But it's like, allow yourself like those times, but also give yourself time to expand your orgasms, to explore into a different place, and like put these other tools into place that will maybe once you start experiencing orgasms like that, it might change the way that you then, you know, when you come home and you're like, I need to just go to sleep.
Bash them out, literally. Oh, okay, that's really good advice. People watching out there might want to get in touch with you and in touch with you, baby.
Right.
You know, follow your Instagram. Where can people find you? And is there anything that you do more outside of just doing this little video?
Of course. Right, so if you're on Instagram, my Instagram handle is Grace ___3 underscores Hazel. So that's Grace ____ Hazel. Also, my website is www.grace-hazel.com.
We'll put all the links.
Us all in the links.
It'll be all down below.
Yeah,
lovely description.
Exactly. So just find it in the links section, so I'm not boring you all with my mum. But yeah, I do one-to-ones with clients, and I also teach gatherings, kind of mostly in London, but it's expanding into all over the world. So I do lots of like amazing women's gatherings where we talk about pussy and orgasm and pleasure, but also tap into trauma and releasing conditioning, so we can just essentially free ourselves up to be completely liberated and having the biggest, best orgasms through life.
Yeah. And you have a podcast.
I do have a podcast, thanks.
Which we will will be on soon.
Thank you. Yes. So my podcast is called Conversations with Pussy. It's on Google with Play. Google with Play.
It actually sounds quite sexy.
Yeah.
Google with Play.
So Google Play and Apple Podcasts, and that
Yay.
is Conversations with Pussy.
Amazing. Well, that's so good. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining us
thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you for inviting
It's been
me.
beautiful.
So good.
Learned so much.
Yeah, these tips are so good and so practical. I
Mm.
really hope that they're gonna help loads of people out there, which I'm sure they will.
And we'd also love to hear from you as well. If you've got anything to add, you know, we love the comment section below.
Yeah.
Any questions or experiences that you've had or anything that's helped you as well. Like, we can all learn from each other. It's a nice community.
Yes.
But thank you so much for coming. It's been an honour having you here.
My pleasure.
Literally.
My pleasure. Yes.
Well, thank you. Like and subscribe to our
Subscribe to our channel.
Yes. And follow this girl because she's amazing.
Yes. Follow
Thank
Grace.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.